This is the 5:30 News on Q2, Montana's news leader.
Good evening and thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Jay Cohn.
And I'm Jeanelle Slade. More than 1 year after a Sydney man was gunned down on the job, his killer is headed to prison. Family
members of the victim say he was killed by a complete stranger and never saw it coming. 36-year-old Ray Hanson sentenced today in Richland County District Court to 100 years at the Montana State Prison. Prosecutors in the case recommended 100 years with 30 years suspended, but the judge declined to suspend any time. Hanson admitted that he shot and killed Terry Klein.
Q2's Asia Gore spoke with the victim's son about today's sentencing. Asia.
Jay and Jeanelle, the family of the victim tells me they had never heard the name Ray Hanson until the day of the murder. And the family also believes Terry Klein didn't know his killer either. Hanson entered a construction site in August of 2016 and climbed onto the excavator that Klein was operating. Klein was working to repair a breached irrigation canal when he was shot in the head without warning. Detectives determined the shooting was unprovoked and the victim likely did not even see it coming. Hanson says he doesn't remember much from that day, and his defense attorneys blame Hanson's drug use for his actions. But Klein's family refuses to accept that excuse.
Dad was the kind of guy that he was willing to help anyone. He was more or less the guy everybody could go to for any sort of advice. I don't believe you can use the drugs as any kind of an excuse or explanation or reason for any of this. This is the kind of thing that if it's in you, it's in you. You know, maybe the drugs brought it out a little easier.
Hanson's sentence has no parole restriction, meaning he could be granted parole in 25 years. Jay?
Thank you very much, Aisha. On to the weather scene now, where Bob McGuire says get used to the snow because there is more on the way. In fact, a lot more, Bob.
Yeah, especially if people are traveling this weekend, maybe go to Bozeman for football, Missoula for football. You need to listen to this right now. This is what we have. We have a couple of warnings to tell you about. One, a winter storm warning, basically for the Beartooths, the Bighorns, and also the Crazy Mountains, Absarokas. 15 to 25 inches of snow with local amounts higher than that. Weather Service said this: travel difficult to impossible in the area highlighted in pink. We also have a winter storm watch. That's also right along Interstate 90 from 7 to 10 inches of snow, possibly up to 15 inches of snow there. And here's what's going to happen. It's an upper level low pressure cell that's going to start sending copious amounts of snow into the region. How much snow? We'll take a look at this. This is what we're looking at by the time Saturday at 7 p.m. gets here. Maybe 3.5 inches for Billings, Livingston 10 inches. Bozeman almost 9 inches, Missoula getting close to 7 inches. So really a significant snowfall, a very big snowstorm coming our way, especially to the western part of the state. We'll have more on this coming up in a few more minutes, guys.
All right, thank you, Bob.
Well, the first snow of the winter season made for slick roadways this morning.
That's right, multiple slide-offs here in the Billings area, causing road closures and delays near Big Timber, Reed Point, Laurel, and here in Billings. In Big Timber and Reed Point, jackknife semi-trucks this morning caused delays along Interstate 90.
Billings police report their officers responded to 27 crashes since the weather started changing yesterday. 13 of those crashes happened today. Speaking of road problems, the time for snow removal is quickly approaching. Over the summer, City Council approved spending money for residential plowing. Now, that plowing will be contracted out and will begin at the same time as normal city plowing, usually after the city receives 3 or 4 inches on the roads. Residential plowing will start on one end of town and work through the city. After the next storm, plowing will start in a different section of town to keep things fair.
Private contractors will plow all the residential roads except for the private roadways. And the city is asking that when it snows, you can move your vehicles off to the road if possible. That will help the plows do their job better. Also, residents reminded that the snow will be plowed to the sides of the street, as the private contractors will not be responsible for snow removal.
Another turn today in the ongoing debate and drama over Montana's $227 million budget hole.
On Wednesday of this week, Governor Steve Bullock's budget director said key lawmakers have tentatively agreed to a three-pronged framework to solve the state's budget crisis. One part spending cuts, one part tax increases, and one part budget transfers. Today, however, some Republican House leaders telling MTN News that any solution or deal is far from settled. House Majority Leader Ron Ely says it's up to the governor to come forward with the spending cuts he plans to make and any other steps that would be made prior to a special legislative session.
House Taxation Chairman Jeff Essman of Billings said he hopes he opposes any tax changes. He said if Congress passes national tax reform, that could mean more state tax revenue, so it's premature to act now.
The Bullock administration says it is, though, hoping that a deal can be reached this month to avoid having to balance the budget entirely with spending cuts.
Tonight in Billings, a listening session is on tap to learn more about the impact of proposed cuts to the Human Services budget. Now, that meeting starts at 7 o'clock in the Mansfield Health Education Center at St. Vincent Healthcare. Well, speaking of budgets, today in Washington, House Republicans released their tax reform bill. It's a long-awaited bill that will change the nation's tax structure for the first time in 30 years. Now, the bill would reduce the number of tax brackets from 7 to 3, and it also would cut corporate and individual tax rates and phase out the estate tax. We asked CBS's Mola Lengi to join us tonight so we can talk about a few specifics. Mola, we're finally getting to see some of the details of this bill. It's being touted as a boon for the middle class. Is this really the case?
Oh, well, yeah, Jay, Jeanelle, you know, first and foremost, the Republicans say that this will be a much easier process in terms of filing your taxes. They're simplifying that process. In fact, they say it'll be as easy, the form will be as easy as filling out a postcard. Now, as far as the middle class goes, yes, they will see their tax rates slashed drastically. Also, if you have kids, you will see those child tax credits increased from $1,000 per child to $1,600 per child. So those middle-class homes with children, they'll get a slight increase in terms of their tax credits. As a counterbalance to the slashing of tax rates, and many tax deductions that households and businesses, for that matter, have come to rely on over the years, they will be either scrapped or at the very least scaled back. For example, homeowners, under the plan, the deduction on your interest for your home mortgage, that will be now capped at $500,000. That is a widely used deduction. That change in particular is going to affect a lot of people. But ultimately, guys, it's difficult to say in terms of the impact overall on middle-class families. Yes, they will see their tax rates cut, but the net effect of this plan on the middle class really remains uncertain. The trade-off between the tax rate cuts and the elimination of so many of these deductions, that means that the impact is really going to vary from household to household. You know, we can make the blanket statement and say taxes, in terms of your tax rate on your income, that will go down, but then it depends on what it is that you claim in terms of deductions, what it is that you qualify for. Student loans, medical or disability, whether you're married, whether you have kids, how many kids do you have? So all of these factors will determine your deductions, and that'll change the overall picture of your overall, you know, the way that you are taxed and how much you are taxed. Right. Obviously very complicated, but Mola, the bill's path forward also promises to be a little rough sailing. Where do you believe the next battle lines will be drawn here? Well, yeah, you know, these days, nothing is easy in Washington. Getting anything done is difficult. And then you add the fact that, you know, tax reform in particular is a difficult thing. That's why it hasn't been done in so long. Obviously, Republicans will try to convince Democrats to support this process. But really, the first battle is going to be convincing their own. It's convincing Republicans, their fellow Republicans, the GOP, the folks within their own party to get on board with this plan. Some Republicans, primarily ones who represent states with high income taxes on those high state taxes, have already said that they are not going to support this bill as it is. These are Republicans who are saying this. That's mostly due to the portion of the plan that eliminates deductions on state income taxes. So that's another deduction that this plan really targets. Now, generally speaking, I think, you know, Montana in particular, the state income taxes are pretty low compared to the rest of the country. I'm going to have to defer to you guys on that one. But that's just an example and an illustration of some of the challenges that Republicans are already facing as they try to pass this bill. CBS's Mola Lengi live from Washington joining us tonight. Thanks for your insights, Mola.
Thank you. Montana's congressional delegation also offering its take on the Republican bill. Representative Greg Gianforte supports the bill. He says Montanans need tax relief, and this plan does that. He says, quote, the plan allows Montanans to keep more of what they earn. A typical family of 4 earning $59,000 will receive a $1,182 tax cut.
Montana's senior Senator John Tester, well, he's part of the bill's next hurdle once it heads over to the Senate. As it stands right now, he's not buying it. Quote, we need real tax reform that seriously addresses our $20 trillion debt, not handouts to billionaires that are put on the nation's credit card.
Senator Tester says he wants to hear from Montanans who have ideas on how to cut taxes without adding to the debt. Now, the plan would allow a $1.5 trillion increase in debt over the next decade.
Montana Governor Steve Bullock has ordered all flags in Montana to be flown at half-staff beginning tomorrow. That's through next Monday. It's all in honor of the late Governor Judy Martz. Martz passed away Monday after a long battle with pancreatic cancer. The state's first and so far only female governor will lie in state tomorrow at the Capitol Rotunda in Helena. Then there will be a celebration of life Saturday, that ceremony at the Butte Civic Center, and the public is invited to attend.
Still to come on tonight's 5:30 News, a new program is trying to weed out some unwanted guests to Montana's ecosystem. We'll show you.
And a bit later tonight in sports, we break down the weekend's high school football playoffs, plus an update on today's divisional volleyball action.
You're watching MTN News with Jay Cohn and Jeanelle Slade. Storm Tracker weather with Bob McGuire and sports with Scott Green. This is the 5:30 News on Q2, Montana's news leader.